as we do every week, we catch up with our guy, our injury insider, of course, Dr. Jeff Pierce of the Michigan Sports and Spine Center. His appearance powered by MRI of Southfield. But Dr. Pierce, appreciate you. And look, we'll get right into it today. I know that we talk about professional sports injuries and your expertise and your clips do well on social media and all that. But look, I want to do this. I don't want to say patient doctor thing.
We're going to organic or something?
No, we're not. Yeah, well, maybe we are right here. But Doc, look, you are not just Doc Rock or Doc Pickleball or the doctor to the athletes. Like your practice, you deal with everyday people as well.
Absolutely, that's the majority.
MichiganSportsSpine.com. And Doc, for me, here's the deal. I run a ton, 15 to 20 miles a week. Do some half marathons, maybe sneak in some 30-mile weeks. Eat well, all of it. Do some lifting and stuff like that. I know I do a piss-poor job with flexibility. and as I look around the sports landscape, right? The athletes, how important is flexibility? I'm asking you this. I know I need to value it more. Give me like a relation to running in relation to lifting.
So, there was a big thing on McCaffrey on why he's better, right? So what it was, and I think I forwarded on to Woodward Sports because it's kind of hitting what you said, ironically, but flexibility is so ignored, right? They think, I run. I do
flat out. I ignore it, flat out.
It's probably the number one thing. Nutrition's probably number one. Flexibility is number two. Working out's number three, okay? Genetics is playing a role in there all along. The pickleball, you sarcastically said Dr. Pickleball, but that's a lot of reasons for a lot of the injuries is the lack of flexibility. And through the years, physiologically, you're tightening up. Your collagen, the elasticity, everything is tightening up as you go. So as a kid, you can be, rubber band man as a kid, but as you get older in the activities, you're like, well, I'm active, I'm warming myself up. You are in a certain smaller scale. Like when I say you run, like if you run, there's different ways we evaluate how you run. If you're a sprinter, if you're a long distance, it's your stride lengths, your muscle spindles are related to all that. So if you run and you don't full stride, or people that walk, let's go simpler, people that just walk. Well, I'm walking an hour a day. Well, you actually can make things worse because you can tighten things up because you're tightening a muscle that's already shortened. That's the last thing you want to do. So in your case, if you're tightening muscles that are already shortened, not to their full length, when you do an activity like natural movements in life, like someone honks the horn behind you and you suddenly move, all of a sudden your whole side of your neck is stiffened up and you just pull through all those fibers and you get a rebound effect. So to answer your question simply, you need to pay attention to it. As you age, you definitely need to pay attention to it. The better, I've always talked to you about building your infrastructure, respecting your ankle, your knee. This is the same thing. You've got to respect. If you can't touch your toes, if you can't put your hands behind your back, and for women, fasten their bra those are all signs, red flags that you got to work on your flexibility. Yoga, back when I was a kid, was like, oh my God, you do yoga. Now it's like a standard between yoga and Pilates for flexibility. So to simply answer your question, don't underestimate because you're going to have an unnecessary injury. Like when we go to the Lions and stuff like that, a lot of these injuries, a lot of tight hamstrings, Achilles, things like that, are they properly warming up? The dynamic warm-up, everybody now knows what a dynamic warm-up is. They know what the core muscles are. So we're educating the community, but are they paying attention? Like you said, the lay person, the person that wants to be a weekend warrior. That's why we call them weekend warriors.
Yeah.
It's like you work all week and then you think you're still that 20-year-old athlete on the weekend. That's why we have a lot of weekend warrior injuries.
DMAC, I mean, just going to it, the flexibility thing. Did you give it its proper due?
Not back in the day. No, but now that's probably the one thing that I do, whether it's before golf or just whatever else, and knowing it. You look at all the, I know at my, all the different stretch, the tri-coveries, the stretch slabs, all these different, there's a reason that they're out there. It's showing because it's the mobility and it's more of everyday life. I know for my golf game, which is what the one thing I'm concerned about,
to you,
to get adjusted to stretch, you crack some things, you put things back in place, but it just allows you to get ahead, right? To get ahead. So for whatever you do, Doc, I think that one of the things is you brought up is that even if you go out, and a lot of people like to go walk their dogs at night or go with the husband and wife or whatever, go for a walk in the neighborhood. It's still imperative maybe to stretch out what you're going to use so you don't hurt yourself. Maybe talk more about like what injuries can people have just by simply walking that they don't realize.
Like walking, I have like young people like, well, I walk, and I'm not going to define young versus old. But the thing is, it's what you do. If you're walking those short little steps, you're tightening all your hamstrings, your glutes, your back muscles. You need to do like I say, if you're a 60-minute walker, every 5 minutes, do 10 lunges, do 10 side steps. Just switch it up, lengthen your stride, and that's what you need to do. Or walk backwards, or walk sideways, or do 10 toe-ups in between. You need to add something to it. You're spending an hour, if not longer. But the thing is, when you do that, they think I walk every day, and it's doing. But you're not really understanding the physiology of your body. Your body has to lengthen. Again, it goes back to, if you strengthen a short muscle, you're going to have trouble. Like, I love the guys picking on the gym, the guys that walk in like this, right? I'm curling 100 pounds, buddy, but I can't go to here. Well, then when they go lift that weight up from here and they have to extend, that's when it tears. It tears
Right.
because that muscle's so short, it's not functional. That's why you see long distance runners. They're long, lanky guys. I mean, that's for a reason. That's why they're more successful than others. So I did want to get to the McCaffrey thing.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm referring to? Did you see that?
I saw. I didn't see like the actual clip of it, but I saw people talking about it on social media.
But it's huge because who do you want to be, right? What type of player are you? Are you powerlifting? Are you relating more to powerlifting? Or are you relating more to plyometrics, right? The plyometrics, the explosive, the change of direction, the way he's strengthening differently. There's still strengthening. Just because you don't have your big beauty muscles going, you're better off. I mean, McCaffrey's, he's against the grain, right? Like, you look at him, like, how is he doing what he's doing? So he is training differently. His speed drills, his plyometric drills, his explosive drills, his change of direction, which is so important. Like in hockey, they do that, but they're on skates, but it's a little different.
You look at Amon-Ra St. Brown, right? That's a powerlifter, whatever. But the combination of, yes, the lifting, but you look at the plyometrics and the explosives and stuff. But there's a perfect combination of why he's so good and what he does and how you have to combine properly, because you have to extend the muscle and then build the muscle. You can't build it while it's short, because then you're going to run into problems of stretching.
Right, you're more prone to injury.
Understanding how it's a combination of both, and some guys need more of this and less of this, and that's where it comes down to having a good doctor and trainer.
Yeah, Doc Pierce, Dr. Jeff Pierce, our injury insider, joining us, and we're just kind of real talking right now. I know we do a lot of the sports world stuff like that, but I like to take advantage. When you do come in here, let me bottom line this and come clean for you. All right.
All right.
I would rather run 5 or 6 miles and burn my 800 or 1,000 calories and sweat and grind. You know what I'm saying? Like, get in that mental space where we're going to go to battle here and get it done. I just can't get myself to do a stretch session. I'm not going to sweat. Like, I know it's hard, right? Like, it's not easy, but I just can't get myself in the mental space to want to do that. Because I don't feel, and is it a macho? It's not a macho thing per se. I just feel like I'm not getting everything I can get out of the time I have to work out by using some of that time stretching. You want to break me down? You broke me down there, Doc. There it is.
So would you say, Doc, just to answer his question, if he's going to run for, how long does it take you to run that?
Yeah, a 10K is about 55 minutes.
Okay,
yeah.
so say an hour. Would he be more beneficial to understand that if he spent 15 minutes of stretching and 45 minutes and doing less running or whatever else, he would maximize?
And that's a great point. Like, can I feel comfortable with myself doing? Do I feel like I'm not cheating?
Sweat on.
You know what I'm saying?
His stretch on.
Am I making sense to you or no?
Yeah, I mean, look, you're like you said, you're you're not the first one asking me. It's
Okay.
How do I spend my time? What's more beneficial to my body? What's the analysis we do? What's the analytics? All that stuff, whatever you're saying. So I think Mac's point, you're giving yourself an hour to work out. You got an hour window before you got to go back to real life. You probably, what really turns the key for a lot of people is an injury. Like when I'm in a facility or a gym or whatever, the guys they're the ones that put the mat down, they put their towel down, and they want to stretch, right? And those are great. Why'd you do that? Well, I had back surgery at age 25, and my doc, there's always an injury story related to it. So unfortunately, sometimes the injury has to motivate. But to be clean and proactive, yeah, you need to do it. The thing is like when you run, like you're running, you want to do a dynamic warm-up to get your body warm, and then you get a better stretch, right? So there's a certain stretch you should do at the beginning, the dynamic, and then you do a full stretch at the end. And as you're warmed up, you don't need to do the 20 minutes. You need to do a good concentrated 5 to 10 minutes as you're cooling your body down. Make that your cool down. Instead of just walking another block, do you do a cool down?
I do. I flip around and go backwards on the treadmill for a good 8 minutes.
Okay, I mean that's
just to kind of reverse.
Yeah, you reverse. That's not bad. So you're getting the isometric. You're getting the different forget the other muscles that are working.
We're going the other direction.
You're going the other directions, like an inversion table. But if you can do a more concentrated thing. If we increase your speed rate or your cadence or whatever during your 45-minute run, you're still playing your same music, you're still doing the same zone, but you may be more beneficial doing a longer cool down where it is a stretch because it's easier to stretch then.
Woodward Sports Chat thread, Freddie Felt 313. Dr. Pierce is legit.
Oh, jeez.
What?
That's great.
Oh, okay. Nate Sudfeld, who I figure he would be at practice right now, but he seems to be in our chat, said, I actually work on being inflexible. So there's that one.
Well, he's got other issues, though.
He's got other issues, I guess, then. But yeah, so, again,
Well, it's funny. I mean, relevant to what's going on, there's a performer tonight that actually hurt himself last night. He's gone from smaller venues, now he's bigger venues, and it's just dance. It's not always athletes. My entertainers are athletes. And he tweaked his back, and we're dealing with that actually after the show. I mean, he's got to get a quick fix because these guys are back to back. So it's everything. The other thing with entertainers, which I was thinking, it's like people don't give them enough respect. We always picked on
100%.
Bobby for like, you're not in shape. We'll put you through the wall. Remember those days backstage? But when you start thinking about, you start playing a game at running around and singing. Like most people can't talk while they're on the treadmill or on a bicycle. Right. When their heart rate's up, I mean, you have to have good lungs,
cardio,
good cardio, good all that. And the entertainers are starting to realize that also.
Chase in the chat. I always neglect my stretching and cool down, but I always notice a difference when I give it its proper attention. Doc, before we'll let you go here, we'll let you ride off on this one. Mark McCormick. Do you think if Javi did stretches, he could actually hit that ball in the other batter's box that he swings at?
No.
Absolutely.
There's not as much flexibility in the world.
No, Doc.
But just one more thing. I mean, a lot of our injuries that come in are result. Like you have to be careful who you go see. Not promoting us, but promoting a physician that does sports medicine, musculoskeletal. You have to promote that because probably 70% of our stuff is mechanical discomfort that is solved with proper mechanics.
And the bottom line, it's your space. This is what you do. It's not. You're not a general, family doctor. Give me some antibiotics because I got to. This is your lane. This is what you do. That's why I like to. And today, I appreciate everybody, kind of humoring me. I'll monopolize your time like I did today.
Well, you did, and hopefully you're going to learn from it.
I will. I do the toe ups and everything like that to this day.
Better start stretching.
Yeah.
No,
I was gonna say
anybody over 25, really 25, female, male, it starts going down. Your hormones are changing, your body's changing, your body habits are changing. If you can get a routine at the 20, at least by 25, then you'll be better off in your 50s and 60s. We can promote that. Hopefully there'll be enough Medicare dollars for us when we get old enough.
Next time, Nick in the chat. We don't have time for it now, but he says, "How can I do steroids without doing steroids?" That's secret sauce related. That's next week's show.
There's self-testosterone promotion, so look that up.
No, Doc, we appreciate you, my friend. Thanks for coming by, as always.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, Dr. Jeff Pierce, Michigan Sports and Spine Center, as always, powered by Amon-Ra of Southfield. We do got to tell, hey, fix Spenny when you something's wrong with Spenny, so you gotta get Spenny taken care of.
Attention sports fans, don't miss out on Expert Sports Injury Insight with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy and Thursdays during Ermanni and Edwards, where he offers top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that I trust. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.